Hello, my name is Carrie. Welcome. Today I'm talking about what happened in June. We're already in July, which I just cannot even believe that is true, but it is true. So I've already started my June practice. I'm going to talk a little bit about what I have planned to do, what I have done, decks I've modified, decks I've used. I have a really cool trio of decks that I think it's just been really fun to play with. But for the most part, my readings have been like sitting on altar space for weeks at a time, not using a ton of cards, but I have been using my yoga cards, which is great. And I've been using them now in connection with a deck I modified that I got from my deck haul. So really excited about that. And that is helping me get meditation in that I keep saying is important, but like I never really do. I kind of resist it all the time. So yeah, let's talk about how June went. Okay, so my June envelope, I opened the first of the month and really love the correlation with things. I've been stalked by like the Queen of Wands. This is the Knight of Wands, the Witch of Trees from the Witch Sister Tarot. And I have 4 decks here that are in my monthly envelopes. In my moon envelopes, I just do 1 card, a goddess card, plus in both this one and the moon one, I do 1 yoga card. So I get a new yoga card every couple weeks, basically, and add that to my collection. Okay, so out of this, I did get a lot more, but my journal is on my phone and my phone is my camera. So what I can tell you is there was a question in the guidebook for this one, which is the Sacred Rebels. So the question was posed, and then I just changed the question to a statement. And my theme for the month has been, it's time to stop placing lesser priorities above your sacred art of life. That statement has been so useful. It's helped me like get my shit in gear and do the things I say are important. I have, like big dreams, and I picture my garden. And like we have a big woodland space in the back. It's a lot of native East Coast Appalachian plants should grow really well in my yard. So I have this idea of everything being native, but that's going to take like years of work and learning for me to make that happen, right? So sometimes I just get stopped by, oh gosh, that's so big. But that's not helpful, then I'll never get there. So it's been really good to spend some time like covering myself up and ripping out the poison ivy that has taken over the forest area in our backyard. I've only just started and only got a little poison ivy from it. So I have a lot of work to do there. But, our tub was like slowing down draining wise. And I find that quite annoying. But I wasn't like just getting on my knees and getting in there and like fixing the problem, fixing the clog. It was going to be icky. So I was putting it off, right? And I finally just went in and did it. And it felt so good. And it felt like I unclogged like something in myself. So even though June has been on many levels total shit, it just has been, I've been getting my work done and like this feels good. So yeah, really, really, really good first day of the month, June reading. And those decks are Sacred Rebel, the Wild and Sacred Feminine deck, the Witch Sisters Tarot, and the Mysteries of the Black Madonna together. Really enjoying this combination. But I also can't wait for the year to be over because I'm looking forward to using this, more completely. Okay, so deck modifications, 5 deck modifications. So I had, in May, I fell in love with the Thoth. And this was the first Thoth deck I had. But I chose to make it completely borderless and titleless and edged it in this blue to match the bag really, and really love how this came out. So this was my first mod of the month. I misplaced it. I threw it in my fanny pack, and I had it in my backpack once when I went like on a short hike, and then I threw it in my fanny pack to go on a hike. Like, you know, if I have a sit pad and I sit down, you know, I might just want to do a reading. I misplaced it, and I looked through my backpacks. I'm looking everywhere. I could not find it. And I was putting it on, you know, like, oh, well, it'll turn up. It's somewhere. And then finally one day I'm like, no, I need to find it. Where did it go? It was missing for like a week and a half. It was in the couch. The couch ate it. So, yeah, I didn't get to play with it a ton because it was lost, and now it is found. I also modded and need to make a bag for the new sized sun and moon. So that one I did the same thing. No borders, no titles, super cute. Haven't played with it since then because, again, I really just haven't been playing with a ton of decks. What else did I mod? This was an existing bag. It could be a little bit bigger, but it's fine for now. This is the Angel deck by Radley Valentine. All I did was take the gilding off, and I'm not going to call it the Angel deck, though. The angels are in the majors. They're all archangels. But all the other suits, we've got unicorns in air, and we've got dragons in fire, mermaids in water, and Earth has fairies. So this is my fantasy deck, my fantasy affirmation. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot about the glare. So yeah, all I did was take off the gilding. Haven't really played with it. Yeah. It's so, I don't know, retro. I love the unicorns. I love all the other suits. Whatever, I can ignore what I don't want to see. But yeah, I like the affirmations, so haven't used it, but I did mod it, and I did get it last month. Okay, a mod that, it's a deck I already had. So I got the new green version, the second edition of the Schiffer Guyian Tarot. This is the third modification I've done on this. I don't know. Someone said, why don't you just, take it borderless? But the art on this deck, so much of it goes over the border. I'm like, you can't chop off all the art. And then I saw Simon on the Hermit's Cave. He did a comparison of the Guyian Tarot, the Llewellyn Guyian Tarot, the first edition of the Schiffer, and he has an edition with the big blue borders, and then he has the one he modified, and then the new green edition. So I modified the green edition to take the borders down a little bit, to take the gold gilding off, and to make it a little bit easier for my hands to shuffle. This one I modified twice. First, I took off the blue borders, but it was still too big. So then I modified it to take off part of the white borders, but still awkward. I took it off borderless, titleless, and I love it because when I thought about using this with Druidcraft, I had the green one and I thought, oh, if only they were the same size. But I'm like, wait a minute, I have this deck. So now I have two versions of the Guyian Tarot. I have the green one. It's fine. If someone wanted to give me a Llewellyn, that'd be wonderful, but I'm not paying crazy money for it. Okay, so let's get closer. J'adore them. I love them together. Look at her. So I did that 9-card reading, that 9-card spread with these, and oh my gosh, it was so good. I got 2 9s and 7 majors. So that reading I had sitting out for quite a while, and I had it on my tray that I use to do like readings, in the living room and stuff in the kitchen, and covered it with another cloth so it was under there and I could just take a peek at it. Look at them. That could be the same person. And then I also pulled, so it's a 9-card reading, and I used this for the 4 elements, but I say body, mind, heart, and hands. So this was my body, mind, heart, and hands, 4 majors, and I use this for the past, present, future, and then what hinders and what helps, and 2 9s and the rest, and 3 majors. It was just quite a powerful reading. So that one sat with me for quite a while, and I took a picture of it, I journaled on it. And I really love them together. They're like chatty patty together. Yes. So yeah, Trim Druidcraft, Trim Guyian Tarot, absolutely amazing reading. And I also had my first reading with these together was this. And I've been listening to Eckhart Tolle lately. He really calms me. And, if you've read Eckhart Tolle or if you've seen the movie Soul, the Disney Pixar movie Soul, the pain bodies, that's not what they call them they call them lost souls in the movie Soul, but they're like gremlins, the pain bodies that Eckhart Tolle talks about, and these things that like just live inside of us rent free and gnaw at us. And when I saw this devil or bindweed and Ace of Swords together, I just felt like the power of now. And I've been getting the Ace of Swords with other decks and other readings. My moon reading, the advice was the Ace of Swords. And so now I see this and I think the power of now, and like it brings me into the present moment, like, and the power of getting out the water, like getting out of your emotions. I always saw it as clarity kind of things, but the power of now has been a really powerful reading for me. Again, this happened at the beginning of the month. Well, not again, but it happened at the beginning of the month, and it was another reading that really got me to like, okay, just go do the things, make the list of things that you don't want to do, and then pick one to go do it. And like the things I didn't want to do I had a bird feeder that I got 6 weeks beforehand, and it's a huge bird feeder, and to hang it I need to take the big ladder back there, which means I'd have to ask for help, and I have to use like hammock straps because I don't want to hurt my tree, and use 2 trees and hammock straps around both of them, and then a cord in between, and then throwing the line over in the middle to hang the bird feeder. So it's something I want to do, but I was just dreading the chore, and I finally got it done, just like unclogging the shower. It just feels so good. So been getting stuff done. This has helped. It's been lovely. So the last deck modification that I did is like my favorite. I'm so happy with the result. This was an existing bag, so I do need to make it a bag. So this is the Magdalene Oracle. Why can't I say that? By Tony Carmine Salerno. Love the art. Didn't love a lot of the phrases. Ended up with cards. These are extra cards. But this is what they look like before I then wrote my own keywords on them. So again, these are extras. The other extras I have, 3 of them went the wrong way, basically. And I could have just moved this over to the side and cut here, but then I would have to have the word on it. I did think about using this one. I do like this one. This one's going on my altar space. This one, obviously, I didn't like. I used it for practice to write on. don't like this picture. When I said I made a video about my haul and I'm like, oh, I don't like this card. It was literally on my whiteboard. It was on the magnetic board because it was part of my reading from the Tarot of Light. The same artist, different writer, but the same artist. Yeah, I had this card up on the wall and I'm like, yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that one. Okay, so now as I was trimming this down, I realized, I'm like, I think I could do a majors only deck and make my own Mary Magdalene majors only deck out of this 45 card deck. And so then I took my poor Ehrenberg, that's its job. I did the same thing with the Hush Tarot. I use this, I lay them all out, and I decide what art I want to go with which meaning. Not that I necessarily needed it to be like the Fool, but I wanted to make sure I had a span of like keywords that I'm going to put on them so they, spoke to different archetype kind of energies. Okay, so I laid these out and found the art to go with each one and then wrote out keywords I might want to write on each of them, and then proceeded to forget that I added something up here. Anyway, and then I realized, I think I could do a majors only / plus court cards or community or people cards. And I did. That's exactly what I did. Very happy with the outcome. I think it's so lovely. These were the extras. So I made myself this 38 card deck, right? 22 and 16. 38 card deck. And now these cards, I pull one a day and use it in conjunction with my yoga cards. So I practice my asanas and get ready for Shavasana. And then I've already pulled one of these cards, and that's what I'm meditating on for 20 minutes in Shavasana. And it's been so lovely. I'm so excited. Like, this feels really good. And I'm happy with the deck that I made. So I have them in order. So this is like the Fool. And I wrote Begin Again. I did mean to. Thought I had decided on something different. As vast as the universe is what I meant to write on it. But then I was like, ooh, Begin Again. It's okay. The Magician, and I wrote The Power of Now. So shiny. Know Yourself. Abundance. Own Your Authority. I love them together. Own Your Authority. Oops. Guidance. Wholehearted. Alignment. Responsibility. Sacred Solitude. Cycles. Fortitude. The Space Between. Release. Burn what does not belong with you. Creative Fire Spirit. Transcending Limitations. Tragedy and Rebirth. Possibility. The Cusp. So beautiful. Higher Vibration. Renewal. The Worlds. And then this is like my wands. Ace / Page. Be curious. Take risks. Create. Rightful action. And then Cups. Go with your heart flow. Sacred connection. Sixth sense. Healer. Swords. Know your wounds, identify your medicine. To get these keywords, I really scoured books that I wanted to possibly get ideas from. So I looked at the book for Voyager Tarot, the Guyian Tarot, Herb Crafters. This is straight from Herb Crafters. I'm pretty sure this is the Ace of Swords. One of the key phrases, know your wounds, identify your medicine. Love it. This is another one directly from Herb Crafters. Speak from between your legs. A clear channel. Reason. And then the Pentacles. Let your body be your teacher. Honor. Grounded presence. Community. I freaking love it. I think it's beautiful. It speaks to me. It's mine. Nobody else has it. Yeah, I'm really loving using this. So I've already done my yoga cards, and I pulled the Queen of Swords, which is the channel, an open channel. I should have pulled her out before I shuffled there. So I haven't done my meditation yet, but I'm actually looking forward to it. So I like having a little bit of this guidance without it being like the Calm app guided meditations. So I'm so excited about using this the way I am. And I had purchased a while ago, which I think it's funny that the Tarot of Light, this is the bag I made it. The material had a lot of flowers on one side, but then it had a lot of the white. So I had to I should have bought more. A lot of the fabric that was on the half a yard or whatever that I purchased was this kind of white with a little bit of stars in it. But when I bought myself, I call it a rosary. It's not a rosary. Mala beads. I haven't used this a ton, but I knew that I wanted to do something special with it. So I'm going to write some mantras, prayers, whatever, to go with this deck, and the blue, the teal, the orange, the brown beads, like something for each one of them. And I had already put it in a bag that really matched the artwork, the other deck I have made by this artist. So I feel like, yeah, this was just meant to be. So I'm going to make her another bag, and loving adding this practice into my routine, adding this ritual, right? Beautiful. Yeah, I'm just so excited. I just think it's gorgeous. Oh, and the pen I used, we'll see if it stays on, is this Zig Photo Signature. Fade resistant, will not smear once dry. Water resistant, dries quickly. I let it sit out for 24 hours before I played with them. So yeah, so far so good. Okay, those were all the decks that I modified in the month of June, plus my June envelope reading using my yoga cards. I pulled Passion Flower as my card of the month on purpose because I'm growing it. Not that it's like this big. It's this big and has 4 leaves. Everything is so slow because I was very late planting things, and then we had a 2-week heat wave and nothing wanted to grow. I had to cover, before I had like shade to cover my plants, I used sheets from inside the house to help keep some of the heat off them. So hopefully I will end up, I planted 20 passion flower seeds and 1 has sprouted, and so far this big. But we're trying. The key word or the intention for Passion Flower is singularity, and it's about being your authentic, weird self. So I thought this was a very good card for me in more than one way. I have Passion Flower in my tea, my cold brewed tea. And then, so I pulled this on purpose. You know, it wasn't by chance that I got this. But then I shuffled the Woodland Wardens and pulled the Spider and Passion Flower, creative ingenuity. So these have been sitting out in my altar space, and I'm trying to be braver about being creative. I pulled lavender out of Dirt Gems, and the key phrase that they had was the sensuous sifter. And I added porous and protective boundaries. And it looks like my chain link fence that we have right in our yard, in our garden area. And lavender is something I planted. Again, the seedlings are itty bitty because I started too late and then it got way too hot. And then I pulled Outgrow Yourself. And we got the Knight of Discs with Harvest and Manifest, and the Empress, Cultivate Your Garden. And I'm like, girl, I'm trying. I am trying. So these have been sitting on my desk just to remind me to do the work. It takes time. It's not quick, right? It's not overnight. You don't make babies like that, right? You have to grow them for months. So just a reminder. These guys live on my desk. So they're up on a shelf, like right over here. But if I'm sitting here studying, I'll bring them down so I can see them, and I'll just turn them over occasionally. It is funny how frequently, like, I'll be studying something and then turn cards over, and it's in some way like references what I just was studying. Elephant and Saturn, Gravity, 3 of Coins, or Queen of Wands. Yeah, these are so grounding for me. Love them together. So again, Scarab and Dahlia, and the Sustain Yourself Oracle. So I did a reading with the Wisdom of the Sacred Oracle, and I made a video where I paired this with a ridiculous amount of decks, and it's quite versatile. It goes with a lot. And I thought, no, I'm just going to use it with the Thoth. But when I really was called to use it, I wanted to use it with the Mysteries of Mary. So that reading has been sitting on my altar space for a couple weeks, and it's about taking a leap of faith into transformation and, you know, the inner path. Really beautiful reading. So that's up on my altar space. In my moon envelope, my full moon envelope, I got Hera, and so she is on the altar space. I did use the Thoth. We had a really lovely reading with that pairing. And then I have had Queen of the I Am Queen Oracle, which the keyword was the Queen of Focused Action, and I got the Hierophant and the Empress, or the Sacred Feminine, from the Cosmic Seed. So that reading has been sitting on my altar space since I pulled it. And I also really liked pairing the Rosetta with Every Little Thing You Do Is Magic. And then I've thrown into the mix, what is the name of that one? The Mystical Reading Cards together. So that Emperor and Hierophant I had pulled weeks ago. I have flipped the Mystical Reading cards a few times, but not the Emperor and the Hierophant. I feel like I still need to be sitting here seeing them when I'm working. They just remind me to move forward and, get stuff done. I have readings sitting out that I feel are really funny. So in another video, I pulled that the Emperor and the Hierophant. I showed that, the Rosetta and the Every Little Thing You Do Is Magic paired together. And then I thought, what about if I added the Tide Tarot into that? And I got the Lover. So it was like 5, 6, I mean, 4, 5, 6, you know, this progression kind of thing. And so I'm like, okay, just keep trucking along. You know, there's other depths to that reading, but that's part of it. And then I have Murder of Crows and Shadowlands Tarot. They sit out on some shelf space, as well as my grandmother pairing of the Llewellyn Tarot trimmed and the Zerner Farber Tarot. And like I turned over the Sun with the Page of Swords from the Murder of Crows. And then a couple days later, when I turned cards over for the Llewellyn and the Zerner Farber, I got the World and the Knight of Swords. Like, and then I pulled a couple cards from, they were this way, Victorian Romantic, and I get the Queen. So I'm like in order, I got the Page of Swords, the Knight of Swords, the Queen of Swords. I've got several Aces of Swords, and I've gotten the Emperor more than one time. So I'm taking it as like, get your stuff done. And then my other grandmother deck, the Guardian Angel one, that I made a video where I put in some clips from The Office, and one of them was the clip of Win, Win, Win. And I had posted that. I posted that video, and I pull the cards out, and I get the win-win. I get the win-win. It's temperance, but it's called win-win in this. And sometimes I just feel like my grandmother is like, yes, sweetie, I'm with you. I see you. So that was lovely. That was a nice, you know, progression of cards coming into my life that feel like, you know, are telling me, just use your head. Like my grandmother would. Okay, so what else did we get? Okay, so I do have one more deck modification. That was the Tarot for Kids deck. So sweet. I'm really loving it. All I did to modify it was give it a nice big corner round. It was, you know, just more pointy in the corner. So now it's this nice soft corner, really cute. And I tried it with a few things, and I liked it with those kind of kid things, but I'm like, you know, I really would love something more grown up, but really, you know, still kind of holding that inner child kind of space. And I realized I have a deck that I never use, and I never know what to pair it with. But then I also don't really try like to pair it, even though I love it and it's perfect. And I'm so glad, because this is what it was supposed to work with. So this is the Soulflower Plant Spirit Oracle. So good. Exactly what I needed. I have a reading sitting up here. Okay. 6 of Cups, Page of Swords, and Calendula, communication. I'm going to pick it up to read it. Our thoughts and words have great creative power, both positive and negative, for ourselves and others. Calendula helps soothe your thoughts and words with warmth and compassion and understanding. So there is a balance between assertiveness and receptiveness in communication with others. I can't tell you how timely it was for me to get that card. I was just anxious and worrying about things that happened in the past and how I could talk to somebody about things. And anyway, it's been lovely. And it pairs up like that well a lot of the time. So 4 of Wands and Change, which is the Death card, with Yarrow, boundaries. Like a little umbrella or shield, Yarrow offers protection from negative energies or toxic influences. She helps you to build strong, healthy boundaries and compassionate awareness of self and others, and to avoid unnecessary energy leaks and general depletion as you evolve and grow. Beautiful. If that's all you want, it's enough, right? Like, it's great. But it doesn't end there. There's more in the book. It's so good. So, Yarrow. There's 44 cards. I, again, love the deck. Wasn't using it. If I knew my alphabet, I'd already be XYZ. There we go. Okay, so in the guidebook, you get a repeat of what message is on the card. You also get the scientific name, and then really good information. And then a nice affirmation as well. I know deeply who and what supports me and who or what drains me, and I act accordingly. Right? Good stuff. So really enjoying this combination of, like, yes, light and fluffy and give me a hug, inner child reading. Come on. Rose, joy with the Magician and the Queen of Cups. Rose is comforting and soothing, infusing your heart and soul with gratitude and joy, and helping you stay centered and loving toward yourself and others when it's needed most. Rose reminds you to be open to the sweetness of life and support your personal growth, whatever the conditions surrounding you may be. It's just really good. Studying Stinging Nettle right now. So so glad I have this combination. And it has moved where the box for this, it's the size of the book. So I just literally have the deck and the book in my basket right over here. And then I keep this in the box right with it. So yeah, really just beautiful combination. Like, so excited. Soulflower Plant Spirit Oracle, finally getting the love it deserves. I did have another big reading where I used the Scarab and Dahlia with the Ritual Tarot and the Queen of the Moon Oracle. That's another one that, like, sat out on my table for a good week and a half or so. So yeah, just really good readings, but not playing with my cards a ton. I've been playing free cell. So I use this deck, which is a tarot deck, but I don't use it really as a tarot deck. So this deck right here is the playing cards deck, and then this is the pages and the major arcana. So I just use this for Solitaire. I use this one when I'm playing on my tray because it's a little bit more narrow than this deck, and it fits the tray. I use this one when I'm sitting here at my desk because it's easier to see and it's a little bit bigger. But yeah, these have been getting a ton of use. And normally when I play free cell, I could win, I might go a few games losing. I might lose 4 games and win the 5th game, but I'm typically losing 1 out of every 3 or 4 games. I went a dozen. I had 12 games without winning. I probably could have gone further on a couple of them, but it just felt like I was so dead-ended. It was worth shuffling and trying again. So yeah, my regular old playing cards as playing cards probably have really been my number 1 cards in addition to my yoga cards. Okay, so with this reading and the power of now realization of relating this Ace of Swords / the Magician in my Mary Magdalene deck, if you noticed, being a reminder to come back to the now, the power of now. So I keep Eckhart Tolle's books that I have. So I have The Power of Now, I have The New Earth, and then I have this children's book, Guardians of Being, and I have like Practicing the Power of Now. So I pulled these 2 down and I read a little bit of this one and decided to reread The Guardians of Being, which I haven't read since I got the book. And then I was thinking about the pain bodies that Eckhart Tolle talks about, that look to me like the movie Soul used the pain bodies as the lost soul, and they look like an angry version of this, almost like going around not knowing who they are, and this like anger or fear has taken over, and they're not using their mind is using them. So the power of now is right about getting out of your mind and taking the control of your mind back. And I just thought, wouldn't it be great? These guys are kind of like the gremlins, like the pain bodies, and these guys are like someone who could make friends, I think, with the pain bodies. So I tried them together and had such magical readings. I love them. So the first reading I had the 9 of Cups in this position, which is, the genie on a beach. And the this card was conjure, right? And so I looked at the cards and I told the story of what was happening. And on it, the guy is like wishing for the genie, and he's sitting on the beach, and I'm thinking, like, get off your phone, you're at the beach, just watch the waves, just enjoy it. And then I opened this, which I hadn't read since I got it some time ago, like 2 years ago, more. There it is. This is the page. I opened this page and it's like matching that card, right? So anyway, I had a couple of great readings with this, and I see me using this in the future. Just so cute and soft, even when you're dealing with pokey things. So sweet. There it is. Drink from your own well, water your own garden. Yeah, sometimes you just need to rest. Are you quitting something that's good for you, or something you maybe should get to? Oops, pass that one. Family and honor your holy days with the Star, the 5 of Swords, and the 7 of Cups. So sweet. Ace of Cups with invitation and the Hermit, and realizations with the Tower. Oh my gosh. So cute. All right, so this is a combination. Absolutely adore. Oh, and last but not least, I even took this deck out of the bag I made it so that the 3 of these could sit together on the shelf. Because now I do that. I keep guys together that I think I'm going to use together. Okay, so Guardians of Being was one book I read this past month, but I also did read a grown-up book, Circe by Magdalene Miller. She is amazing. She read the Odyssey at 10, if I'm getting this right. She read it at 10 and was like, wow, that's so good. And her, I don't know, parent, teacher, mentor, someone said, oh, if you think it's good in English, wait till you read it in Greek. And now, like, she teaches Greek and Latin. So great person to tell us these stories from a female point of view. So good. Loved learning about Circe. And now I really can't wait to read the Odyssey. I can't remember the the author, but it is a female author, and I think it was recommended by Madeline Miller, or at least the person that was interviewing her, if not her. So yeah, I am now started on the Song of Achilles. Just started, barely in there yet. I think she's working on another book now. But yeah, I'm looking for more books that are like this. So if you know another author in this genre, that would be great. I would love to have some recommendations. The other book that I'm going to try to read some of this month is Tarot for Change by Jessica Dorr. I've only just started it, but the nice thing about this is, you know, you could read like her take on one card at a time. Like, you know, just read a short little chapter at a time. So what I've read so far is great. So what is her take on this? Though tarot is often thought of as a tool for divination and fortune-telling, it also has deep roots in spirituality and psychology. For those who know how to see and listen, the cards hold the potential to help us better navigate the full spectrum of the human experience. I agree with that. In Tarot for Change, Jessica Dorr divulges years of hard-won secrets about how to work with the tarot to better understand ourselves and live in alignment with what's precious. Dorr shows readers how to choose a deck, interpret images, and build a relationship with the cards, while also demonstrating how the mythic imagery of tarot supports modern therapeutic concepts like mindfulness, acceptance, and compassion. Her reflections on each of the 78 cards are a vibrant tapestry that weave together ideas from psychology, behavior science, spirituality, and old stories, breathing new language into ancient wisdom about what it means to be human. So good. And then I'll just read one little blurb here. Okay, so this very first, like, what is tarot? When necessary, a spread of tarot cards can be like a tapestry onto which we project our inner life safely and without harming ourselves or others. Because projection is a natural and healthy function of the human imagination, this is one way to harness its power and use it for good. The externalization of internal experiences onto a physical object like a card creates some distance that gives us room to breathe, shifts how we relate to ourselves, and offers a new vantage point to look from. The cards allow us to safely see and understand the less palatable aspects of ourselves. Absolutely how I feel about tarot. Like, I've been able to have really hard conversations with myself that I couldn't have before, and now I can do it without judgment, just curiosity. It's a beautiful thing. So looking forward to getting a little further into this book. So we talked deck mods. I didn't get as far along in my studies, my herbalism studies, as I wanted to, but I realized it was because not only was I studying adaptogens, I had done. So yeah, I did herbal safety too. So lots done. I got a new cute little stamp. I got a little poison stamp. Just to remind myself, don't eat that one. And yeah, got started on this. So this is really like the beginning of July. So I've opened my July monthly cards, my envelope. So that's already like magneted up to the whiteboard. And what I got from looking at all the guidebooks, so 2 of the cards talk about harmony. So I got Oshun as a goddess, and her keyword is harmony. And then in the Witch Sisters, I got the 6 of Skies, which talks about harmony as well. And in the Sacred Rebels card, I got from it, it's about like if you're drawn to, it doesn't say mandalas, it's the flower of life, seed of life kind of things. If you're drawn to that, like, draw them. And I just said last month, I'm like, I said I was going to draw mandalas, and I haven't been. So that is on a sticky note on the whiteboard to create at least one freaking mandala in July. Okay, so that's a goal. And, okay, so 4th of July, we went to Shenandoah National Park because it's only a few hours from us. It was a long drive with the 2 dogs for a short walk and a nice picnic, and then a long drive home. But it was really good. There were so many plants in bloom, and my app wasn't working for like identifying things. And there was a plant that I kept seeing, and I'm like, I know that plant. I know that plant. And I could not think of what it was. But I did point out, like on the way there, here we go. So in my notes, I have learned this word before. Raceme is a stalk, a inflorescence, the part of the plant that has flowers. And it's a stalk that grows up, and the older flowers are on the bottom and the newer flowers on the top, and it's called a raceme. So, and if it's branched, it's called a panicle, which is really a raceme of racemes. So I'm like, okay, I've remembered and forgotten this word multiple times. So I need a song, because if something's in a jingle, I can remember it forever. So Jolene, I just started singing a song. Raceme, 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 raceme. If you're branched, you're called a panicle. And things like that. So I was being really annoying when we're walking the dogs going down the street, and I told my husband about the day and everything I learned about holy basil, and sang in my song, right? And then the next day, we go to Shenandoah National Park, and that's a raceme. Like, I'm pointing them out everywhere. And I see this plant, and I'm like, dang it, I know this plant, but I cannot tell you what it is right now. And my app isn't working, so that can't tell me to tell you what it is right now. So I kept seeing it, and it was bothering me. And then I go use a public bathroom, and outside of the public bathroom, they have raised beds, and they have native plants, and they have them labeled. And I'm like, thank you. And it was black cohosh. I'm like, of course it's black cohosh. Black cohosh, whose scientific name is Actea racemosa, like raceme, racemosa, right? So I was seeing them everywhere. And then as we're driving out of Shenandoah National Park, why I didn't video anything, I don't know. But we had a beautiful time. So driving down Skyline Drive through Shenandoah National Park, the speed limit is 35 miles an hour. There's winding roads, and you have to be really careful. There's lots of deer in Shenandoah, and lots of plants all along Skyline Drive. Black cohosh was growing, and I just felt like there were plenty of other plants that I could have gotten, my mind hooked on, but it was the black cohosh. So then we come home, and I'm like, it has a message for me. So this is black cohosh, and it's 5 of fire. So 4th of July, 5 of fire. Anger is sacred. Burn through the slumber of helplessness and complacency. Resist. Women's rage is a force that will change the world. And I can't tell you how much I needed to hear that this 4th of July. Ooh, thundering. So yeah, this is my fire right now. So then, of course, I came home and studied, even though this is jumping ahead. I've watched all the videos that are in my online program, but I haven't sat and read the books and written things out and taken notes. I've listened to them multiple times. So that's why I'm like, I know that plant. I know I'm supposed to know that plant. So yeah, black cohosh. And I have some in my refrigerator, and I need to clean out the whole side yard that is just really covered in poison ivy and oak tree saplings that can't live that close to our shed and stuff. So I need to clear that whole area out. And they do really well with trees like tulip poplars. If your tulip poplar is doing well, or sugar maple, or basswood, there are certain trees that if they're doing well there, this plant is probably going to do well also. So I have some of this in my fridge and just waiting to clean that area out. It's going to be a few days of working amongst the poison ivy that I hopefully don't get again, like I did 2 weeks ago. I covered myself everywhere, but it was I was just sweating because it was 90 degrees out, and I would itch my ears with my shoulder, but the poison ivy was like hitting me. You know, I was in it for 3.5 hours. So anyway, yeah, this one spoke to me, and now I have the drive, because I've just been looking at that side area with all that poison ivy going, I really don't want to get in there, but I want to get this planted next to its tulip poplar. So I need to get in there and clean it out. So I got the fire message that I needed this month. So thank you, herb crafters. And the only other reading, this one was funny. So this wasn't a June reading. This was a July reading. I haven't pulled cards from this pairing, which is the Hyde Tarot and the Energy Archaeology Oracle deck, in weeks. I was pulling them pretty regularly, but I gave it a little rest. So we have creation, the pelvis, and the rose, 2 of cups. So I got this reading and I took a picture of it and sent it to my husband. And I'm like, well, the cards say we have to, have some time together. He's like, well, if the cards say so, here we go. So that is my July so far. And all right, I'll be back with a video, I'm sure, in a week or less. Hope everyone has a good one. Stay safe out there. Bye now.